Improv in the Han Solo movie. Lord and Miller say yes and, but the studio said no but. I'm Danielle Radford, and this is Screen Junkies News. Sources speaking with The Hollywood Reporter have revealed the issues leading up to the replacement of Phil Lord and Christopher Miller on the Han Solo standalone film. According to the article, quote, there were deep, fundamental philosophical differences in filmmaking styles, this person says, and the directors felt they were being given zero creative freedom. They also felt they were being asked to operate under extreme scheduling constraints and were never given enough days for each scene from the very beginning. The piece goes on to detail a set filled with doubt, angry department heads, disagreements on shots, and way too much improv. Here with me to take suggestions from the audience is DJ Wooldridge. Hello.
Hello, audience.
Hello.
Nothing?
A job. What's a career? What's a kind of job? This article was
crowd tonight.
Ooh, is this thing on? So audience, the sources on set,
yes,
told The Hollywood Reporter a lot of stuff. This article was so deep. They said that Lord and Miller weren't making decisions fast enough. Yeah. Department heads were complaining. There was too much improv. So it kind of sounds like it was just a bad fit for everyone.
Yeah, this reads like a divorce announcement. Like, hey, listen, there were deep fundamental philosophical differences. I felt like I had zero creative freedom in the marriage.
Yeah, they even said that apparently things were so bad that when Ron Howard was announced that he was taking over, the crew broke into applause. So
that's tough.
That's tough. It's rough. It's just just not a good fit. So now that Ron Howard has taken over and we're getting things with the crew being happy, do we think that a happy crew is going to be good for this project? Does a happy set make a better movie?
Yeah, I mean, as happy set has to be a better set. Like, if you don't want people to be disgruntled in any endeavor you're trying to do, like if you're working in an office, you want your peers to be happy and contented because theoretically you should all be turning out better work. It just, I think we talked about this. When Edgar Wright was asked about why he left Ant-Man, that idea that he wanted to make an Ant-Man movie, but they didn't want to make an Edgar Wright movie. Right. That's what this kind of sounds like. Yes. It's just they didn't do their. I'm left wondering, what did you expect? What did you think was going to happen? What kind of movie did you see in your brain? You know what I mean? Right.
Well, it's also obviously when sets are happy or people are happy. Like on Ocean's 11, everyone became best friends or whatever, and they were all hanging out.
And that worked 1 out of 3 times.
Well, and then after that, you just keep to make the movies where you can hang out with your friends. But there are also examples of movies where things did not go well and the movies turned out great. Like Titanic, there was literal PCP put into the chowder. That is a real fact. You could look that up. Jaws had problems, Apocalypse Now, but all of these are thought of as pretty good movies. Yeah. So do you think that, do you think this project is doomed or that it's going to?
I think it's going to be a hard sell from here on out because I think, even this article talked about how people are willing to give Lord Miller the benefit of the doubt. You've got somebody new stepping into the iconic Han Solo role that is, in my brain, is that is Harrison Ford. Why even bother if it's not going to be Harrison Ford? And I think he's only 5 years younger than Harrison Ford was when he took the It's not that much younger. He's not going to become a different person 5 years earlier. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how far the Star Wars goodwill goes. I think it's going to be like most major studio tentpole films where it's fine. It doesn't make you angry.
Ron Howard comes with a lot of Ron Howard goodwill as well.
He's a pro.
That's great. So another thing that sources said, and a lot of sources saying a lot of stuff in this article, was that Lord and Miller's directing background didn't seem to be enough to prepare them for something the size of a Star Wars film.
That seems silly to me.
Does it?
Doesn't that seem silly to you? I mean, they've done 20. It's not like 21 Jump Street was an indie film. It's not like Trevorrow, that went from literally almost no budget to all the money. Yeah, all the money.
Every money ever.
These guys have more of a track record than most people coming in to do these films. So that just seems like an excuse to me. I think it's just a difference in how they make movies. You know what I mean?
Right, it's okay if the studio wanted something with a little bit more control and maybe their style is a little bit more loosey-goosey. Yeah. And it sounds like they just didn't find a way to reconcile that
Yeah.
before shooting. Do you think there is a way to be able to nip those things in the bud so that you don't have one of these cases where 5 months into shooting, you've got to bring in a new director, where you can iron out some of these, like, hey, we want this and you want that?
It'll be interesting to see if with the future of these movies, if they start hiring people that are just like, sure, whatever you say. Like that don't really have any sort of like perspective or have their own thing that they kind of want to do. Like maybe they'll be more gun shy in the future, because it does sound like they're pretty risk averse. Like every Star Wars film should feel like A New Hope, you know? If it doesn't feel exactly like A New Hope and hit the same beats, I'd be shocked if the Death Star does not make an appearance somehow in Han Solo.
Death Star.
Like he has to escape as they're constructing it. I don't know. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see how they handle this stuff in the future.
Well, and so an anonymous executive from a completely different studio chimed in with this, spoke to the Hollywood Reporter and said, quote, all of the films have been troubled, speaking about these new Star Wars films. J.J. Abrams was powerful enough to push back on an unrealistic start date for the first movie, but that was a tug of war. The last one was reshot by Tony Gilroy for months, and now this is a systemic problem. And so the article, they kind of take that to mean that Kennedy is trying to do something where they're maybe taking risks with other kind of filmmakers, and they seem to say that that's hurting the franchise. Do you agree with that?
It sounds more, I mean, I take that as kind of like more like she likes to flirt with the idea of taking a risk, but when it comes down to it, no.
Right.
And you have to decide, like, the frustrating part is Star Wars is a strong enough brand that you could take some real risks with it and it would probably do fine.
I did really want to see that Rogue One, like, war movie.
Yeah.
Like that, you know, because it was a real war, and I think that there could have been a way to do that and still keep that PG-13.
Yeah.
And kind of spoilers for Rogue One, but you know, that ending where you see where Darth Vader becomes Darth Vader and he is the thing you are afraid of, and he is the monster that you are afraid of at night, like, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And so I'm not saying that I don't think that the movie would have been a case where you would have seen more of that, but just feeling that real threat of war, I was kind of looking forward to that, and they pulled back on a lot of that stuff.
Well, it's kind of the difference between like going to a fine dining restaurant where there's a chef that's like hand preparing meals to like fast food. And even if you've got really good fast food, it's all basically the same. It's made on an assembly line.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so there's the risk that these films will kind of, like, and other bigger franchises do have that feel where it's kind of an assembly line where every once in a while you get one like, oh, that's a good one. You know what I mean? So I think no matter what, I feel like this Han Solo movie is not primed to blow people away. I think it will come out and it'll be just another fine example of what come out of the assembly line.
Okay. So, well, we'll find out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, DJ, for sharing your thoughts. And now we have heard from Deej, but I want to hear from you. Do you think that Ron Howard's hiring could signal, as DJ said, a new hope? Thanks so much for watching. Click here for more internets. Tweet us at SJ News. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, and we'll see you next time. Bye.